It was the whisper that turned into a roar. AFX, the blockchain project once laughed off as too small, too slow, too quiet, was now the subject of global speculation. The reason? A looming centralized exchange listing that could, in one stroke, turn the tide of the token's visibility, volume, and valuation. In crypto, nothing shifts sentiment quite like a CEX announcement. And as rumors swirled in Telegram groups, X threads, and Discord backchannels, traders and believers alike braced for what could be the defining moment in AFX's journey. The community had been preparing for this. From its humble beginnings in decentralized obscurity, AFX had carved out a name with its dedication to transparency, its AI-powered trading ecosystem, and its diehard holders. But even the most passionate community knows, visibility is volume, and volume is survival. A CEX listing doesn't just put your logo next to the likes of Solana and Chainlink. It puts you on the radar of whales, retail speculators, and institutional algorithms scanning for the next breakout. Back in May, when AFX surged past 11 cents during its 100-day accumulation cycle, analysts began to take note. But with that cycle now ended, many wondered what would fuel the next rally. The answer may now be right in front of us. Liquidity, market depth, daily volume, a price discovery engine. In other words, the birth of AFX on a centralized exchange like KuCoin, BitGet, or maybe even Binance. In private investor circles, screenshots began to circulate, alleged onboarding conversations, KYC approval documents, even testnet deposits tagged to exchange-linked wallets. While nothing had yet been confirmed by the dev team, veteran traders knew how this game worked. Exchanges deny. Then, they list. Silence precedes explosion. At $0.08637, AFX was still a sleeper. Still affordable. Still under the radar. But that could change overnight. Think of what happened with Render, Caspa, or even Pepe when they landed their first major listings. The shift was never slow. It was always violent. Because it's not just about access, it's about legitimacy. Listings validate vision. And when AFX lands on a CEX, the psychology around the token won't be the same again. Behind the scenes, preparation had already begun. AFX's devs had adjusted smart contract parameters for higher throughput. The Treasury wallet, previously dormant, showed activity. Tokens moved into designated multi-sig wallets, hinting at marketing allocations. Meanwhile, the AFX AI trading bot, one of its key ecosystem tools, had seen a UI upgrade. Nothing about this was accidental. Listings require infrastructure, and AFX was quietly building the foundation. Community moderators hinted at a special announcement for November, but never gave specifics. Instead, they posted countdowns, launched staking challenges, and teased Tier 1 collaborations. The intent was clear: keep engagement high, but hold the bombshell. Time it right. Let the tension simmer. Crypto historians will remember that listings don't just lift price, they rewrite trajectory. Matic wasn't born at $1. Solana once traded for pennies. CEX listings were their ignition events. Could AFX be next in line? Part of what made the listing speculation so powerful was the complete lack of denial from the team. Usually, a dev team would squash false narratives to avoid misleading the community. But AFX's silence was surgical, strategic. Every rumor left unchecked was another fuel log on the fire. If they weren't denying it, maybe it was true. And then came the wallet pings. Blockchain sleuths noticed strange, large incoming transfers to what appeared to be exchange-linked wallets. Exact token amounts, timestamped, matched to listing patterns from previous projects. The AFX whale trackers lit up. The signal was loud, but the confirmation? Still pending. As the market looked ahead to Q4, Bitcoin hovered at $34,000 and Ethereum at $1,850. The alt season hadn't begun yet, but seeds were being planted. And AFX, with its disciplined tokenomics, AI ecosystem, and swelling community, was positioning itself like a coiled spring. All it needed was a trigger, a catalyst, a listing. Would it be Bitmart, XT, BingX? Or would AFX skip the minor leagues and debut on KuCoin or Gate.io? The theories were endless. The possibilities, infinite. But one thing was now certain. The market had smelled blood. And when the crypto world smells momentum, it chases it with blind conviction. As November deepened, The air in the AFX community became electric. Something was coming. You could feel it in the sudden spike in Telegram chatter, the way moderators typed half sentences like, "get ready," or "watch the candles." Even the AI bots' trading signals grew more erratic, more aggressive, as if it too knew what was coming. And yet, there was still no official word. Just anticipation. Just silence. And in crypto, silence is the loudest noise of all. The team's behavior changed, subtly but unmistakably. Their previously slow cadence of weekly updates suddenly became daily. UI tweaks were pushed. The web dashboard saw multilingual options appear. And then, a new domain began redirecting users, afxglobal.io, not replacing the original, but shadowing it. A mirror site, leaner, optimized. Most missed it, but sleuths didn't. AFX was preparing for global attention. Then came the clues too bold to ignore. A YouTube finance influencer, known for early coverage of CEX-listed tokens, posted a teaser. One token, under 10 cents, preparing for ignition. Eyes on it. He didn't name it, but showed a chart. It was unmistakable. AFX's telltale symmetrical wedge. The video hit 87,000 views in 2 days. Suddenly, new wallets began minting fresh AFX. But these weren't airdrops or rewards. These were labeled institutional batch wallets, a term used before on chains like Optimism and Avalanche during pre-listing allocations. No explanations were given, but the message was clear. Someone was preparing to move weight, and they didn't want slippage. Back in the public eye, price action began ticking. Slowly, subtly, $0.086 became $0.091. Then a short wick to $0.097, and a retrace. Classic accumulation. Classic bot activity. And in every Discord voice chat, the phrase repeated like a mantra. This is pre-listing movement. No one knew for sure. Everyone believed it. What truly triggered the wave, though, was a leaked screenshot posted to X, formerly Twitter, by a pseudonymous trader. It showed what appeared to be the asset listing backend of a mid-tier exchange. Think MEXC, Gate.io, or even Bitrue. The token symbol? AFX. The price? $0.08637. The status? Pending marketing push. Panic buying began immediately. In one 24-hour window, AFX saw more volume than in the previous 10 days combined. Stackers and bonded early, incurring penalties just to re-enter at market. Bots were reprogrammed. Analysts pulled out their Fibonacci retracements. Something was clearly happening, and no one wanted to be left behind. Amidst the chaos, longtime holders began to speak up. "This is the moment we waited for," one wrote. "Back when we were farming this thing at $0.017, people laughed. Now they chase." Another posted a side-by-side screenshot of AFX's roadmap, with the word exchange integration quietly ticked off, days before anyone noticed. What made this all more cinematic was the broader market. Ethereum was ticking upward. Bitcoin had crossed $36,000. Altcoin dominance was rising. And yet AFX, with no marketing budget, no VC backers, and no major influencers, was stealing attention. It was a David among Goliaths. But David had momentum now. The price settled back to $0.093, a deceptive calm. Telegram pinned a message, "Tomorrow, 1800 hours Universal Time Coordinated. Be here." That was it. No emojis. No hype. Just time and place. And in crypto, sometimes, that's louder than 1,000 tweets. Everyone knew what might happen next. A candle. A confirmation. A listing. Or maybe nothing. That was the beauty of AFX. You never quite knew, but you felt it. And in markets, sentiment is half the battle. The rest? Timing. The countdown began like a ticking time bomb. Telegram, Discord, and X were ablaze. 1800 hours Universal Time Coordinated. That phrase echoed everywhere. Even people outside the core AFX circle, swing traders, chart analysts, and deegans, were drawn in by the sudden weight of anticipation. No one wanted to miss the reveal. No one wanted to be late. On-chain activity exploded. Etherskin showed massive token movement. A previously dormant AFX wallet, likely a team wallet, transferred 5.8 million tokens to 3 separate exchange hot wallets. That was the moment the whispers turned to screams. It was happening. Listing. Imminent. And then, at exactly 1800 hours Universal Time Coordinated, the AFX website updated with a single banner. We are live. CEX integration begins. No exchange name. No ticker flash. Just a phrase. It was maddeningly vague. But in crypto, vague is oxygen. Twitter went berserk. Influencers with over 500K followers started speculating. AFX just confirmed a CEX integration. If this goes live on KuCoin or Gate, this could 5x overnight, tweeted one user. Another quote posted the banner and added, and this is how stealth launches should be done. Organic, community-driven, zero VC. It was raw, untamed, decentralized. Minutes later, screenshots emerged from inside Gate.io's backend token list. The AFX logo appeared next to the word scheduled. Confirmation was in. The crowd went wild. Charting bots lit up as buys flooded in. Candle after candle burst upward. $0.095, $0.106, $0.121. Volume spiked over 800%. But price was only part of the story. What really mattered was the access. A CEX listing meant liquidity. It meant international traders with no MetaMask knowledge could finally tap in. It meant market makers could come play. AFX, long an underdog in the shadows of DX charts, was finally on the big stage. And the timing couldn't have been more poetic. Bitcoin had just breached $39,000. All coins were primed for a breakout. The AI narrative was catching fire again. And in that perfect storm, AFX, with its AI-powered DeFi trading ecosystem, suddenly aligned with everything the market was craving. The project's white paper downloads jumped 220% in one day. Google searches for AFX token and AFX exchange hit new highs. Even CoinGecko showed a trending badge next to AFX's name. It was the moment the community had waited for, not just price movement, but recognition. Inside the community, holders rejoiced. AFX OGs, people who staked back in early 2024, posted screenshots of their staking dashboards, some showing 500,000 plus tokens. Others posted memes of rockets, moons, and AI robots doing the dab. It was ridiculous. It was celebratory. It was deserved. But as with all things in crypto, euphoria was short-lived. As AFX soared past $0.137, questions emerged. Would insiders dump? Would the liquidity hold? Was this just a listing pump or the start of something far greater? And that's when the team made their next move, one no one expected. They released a teaser trailer, just 60 seconds long. Cinematic music, glowing particles forming the AFX logo, and the final message, CEX is just the beginning. The AI vault opens next. The video ended with a countdown, 14 days. The market didn't even have time to digest the listing before the next storm was announced. What was the AI vault? What did it do? No one knew. But now, AFX had two things no bot could replicate: momentum and mystery. And in crypto, when you have those two, you don't need hype. You are the hype. The teaser had done its job. The AI vault opens in 14 days. That countdown lived rent-free in the minds of every serious AFX holder. Speculation turned into strategy. Whales began shifting liquidity. Stackers refused to unstake. Micro-influencers built YouTube explainers with titles like, "What is the AFX vault?" even though no one really knew. Behind the scenes, development activity surged. GitHub commits from the AFX team increased dramatically. Smart contract auditors were spotted reviewing new vault code. And on-chain, a new contract appeared, AFX_vault.sol. Its code hinted at AI automated yield aggregation with adjustable risk sliders. This wasn't just a farm. It was a machine. Day one of the vault launch felt like watching history load in real time. The UI dropped at 1600 hours Universal Time Coordinated. Minimalist, clean. One single call to action. Enter the vault. Users connected their wallets and were presented with a grid of options. AI strategies categorized by behavior. Cautious, adaptive, aggressive. All AI modeled. All transparent. But what shook the industry was this. The vault was auto-learning. Each strategy evolved based on market conditions. The smart contract didn't just execute trades. It monitored chain-linked data feeds, CEX order books, and macroeconomic metrics like treasury yields and oil prices. AFX had built an AI-native vault that learned how to beat the market. It wasn't long before crypto media caught on. The block published a piece titled AFX and the Rise of AI-Defined Finance. Decrypt followed with a headline, "Not just a token, AFX vaults might replace your financial advisor." The tone was changing. This was no longer a meme coin story. This was an ecosystem story. The market responded. The listing, the vault, the attention, it all created a feedback loop of demand. New wallets surged 3x in 1 week. Volume stayed elevated, even after the listing hype cooled. And most importantly, retention stayed high. People weren't just buying AFX. They were using it. The vault quickly surpassed $22 million TVL. That made it one of the top 50 DeFi vaults by locked value globally. And because AFX used its own token as part of staking collateral, demand naturally outpaced emissions. For the first time in its life cycle, AFX became deflationary. And with that deflation came speculation. Some began whispering, what if this vault isn't even the final form? A leaked Discord screenshot from an alleged AFX beta tester described a second vault, Project Omega, supposedly in closed testing. It was rumored to tap into real-world data sources, like social sentiment, and even satellite weather feeds. AI DeFi was mutating again, but perhaps the most powerful shift was philosophical. AFX had started as a stealth token with AI ambitions and a small, loyal crew. But now, it had become a movement, one that blended decentralization, real-world utility, and the dream of a finance system not just governed by people, but enhanced by learning machines. Community calls grew emotional. People spoke of finally feeling ahead of the curve. Telegram mods were now community leaders. OG stackers were treated like elders. And the devs? They didn't bask in the glory. They released a roadmap. Q1 2026, multi-chain vault expansion. Q2, real-world asset tokenization AI. AFX wasn't slowing down. It was leveling up. Even major CEXs that once ignored AFX began reaching out. Gate listed it fully. KuCoin added margin trading. And rumors emerged that Bybit was next. Some even suggested Binance had sent a soft inquiry. But whether it landed on Binance or not was now beside the point. AFX had proven what most projects only pretended to aim for. A working product with real AI at its core, a loyal and informed community, and a value loop that rewarded use, not hype. It wasn't a promise anymore. It was a system. And in the end, as the dust settled and the charts cooled from their vertical sprint, what remained was something far more powerful than a temporary pump. Trust. Trust that AFX wasn't just another project in the storm. It was the storm. A storm fueled by data, directed by AI, and powered, always, by people.